Welcome to this edition of Collier Focus. On today's show, we'll take a look at the Board of County Commissioners meeting. The 2011 budget policy is adopted, and the Thomas Riley Artist Gallery is the business of the month. I'm Troy Miller. We'll cover these stories and more next on Collier Focus. Stay tuned.
Whether reporting on the latest news stories or hot issues, taking a look at county government services, or announcing what's happening around the county, this is Collier Focus, bringing government home.
At the recent Board of County Commissioners meeting, the board took up the tough business of adopting a 2011 budget policy. Commissioners unanimously approved the millage neutral plan submitted by the county manager. Budget cuts have become the norm in recent years, and while next year's budget will certainly be smaller, it will be different.
Well, we got a kind of a fundamental shift this year with our budget policy. The prior years we have done some across-the-board cuts and really didn't touch our capital program to any great extent. This year we're going after our capital program to try and find about $26 million in cuts under a millage-neutral budget. The board has just directed us to present a millage-neutral budget, and at this point in time, a lot of those cuts will come from our capital program. There'll be 5% operating cuts. They'll be strategic. They will not be across the board. So we think with that guidance, we'll be able to give the board a millage-neutral budget with some options based on what cuts in service were proposed, what the costs of those services that were cut are, and how much the millage rate implication of that would be above millage neutral should they decide to add back those services.
The Blue Ribbon Committee formed to look into the ongoing issues between EMS and fire services reported to the board. The committee was formed to study the quality of pre-hospital treatment for patients and looked at both advanced life support treatment, or ALS, and basic life support, or BLS, and confirmed that Collier County residents are in good hands.
We have one of the best EMS services in the country. And we've had great leadership. I can tell you, after meeting with both the fire chiefs, EMS leadership, and also our emergency room physicians, and that they are all dedicated people in providing the highest level of care one could expect.
The committee will continue to meet and try to bring more stakeholders into future meetings. The board unanimously backed a resolution asking the legislature to approve a bill that would allow community associations to self-determine if sprinklers should be installed in high-rise buildings that currently do not have sprinkler systems.
Just hope that we can get some action up there in Tallahassee. Obviously, when these people up there make laws, they don't understand the impact that it's going to have, and I think classroom size was a big one. And obviously this is even bigger than classroom size because it deals with large structural buildings. So,
under state law, 2014 is the deadline to install or retrofit buildings 7 stories and higher with sprinklers. The South Florida Water Management District updated the board on the plan for the lower West Coast region water supply. The plan is designed to make sure that water supplies keep pace with future water needs. Regional Water Director Mark Elsner says that the plan considers several potential water sources.
Sources such as fresh groundwater, brackish groundwater, seawater, use of reclaimed water, which is treated domestic wastewater, storage options of capturing water during the wet season and storing it for use at a later time during the dry season, and identifying where those projects are needed and starting the planning to get those in place so when the demand comes, the local utilities and water providers are able to go ahead and meet that demand.
Collier County Utilities and Planning Departments worked with South Florida Water Management District on the plan, which is updated every 5 years. The board approved a proclamation recognizing the Health Department for their work in distributing the H1N1 flu vaccine. About 108,000 vaccines given so far in Collier County, and of that amount, the Health Department vaccinated 48,628 people. The department held 34 vaccination clinics. Dr. Joan Colfer credits her staff for having an excellent plan.
we had planned for pandemic flu for a number of years. We really planned for a flu that was much more serious than this one was. We got very lucky that it, for the most part, for most people, it was a mild disease. But, you know, we can't forget that over 200 people died in Florida alone. Across the country, over 300 children died from this. And people are still contracting the disease. You know, this is late February, but there was a gentleman that died in North Florida earlier in February. So, you know, it's still out there, much milder than it was before, but it's still there. And so we still are encouraging people to come in and get vaccinated. We stopped doing the large venues, but it's still available at the health department on a daily basis here in Naples and every Wednesday out in Immokalee.
The H1N1 vaccine is available to everybody at the health department, and there is no cost. The board has named Thomas Riley Artisans Guild as their Business of the Month. Thomas Riley Artisans Guild has emerged as a premier provider of fine interior woodwork and finishes. They were afforded the opportunity to present the board with an in-depth look at their business operations. Stay tuned until the end of the show to see their presentation. Well, it's time for a break. When we come back, the Marco Island Library gives a grand opening to Rose Hall. And the Marco Airport has a groundbreaking for the new expansion project. All of that and more when Collier Focus continues.